Good evening, everyone who is watching in the Rokani Football Podcast. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? Today we have a story coming in from Chelsea, that is from the Blues in London, which is all about Antonio Rudiger and two replacements that Thomas Tuchel has really identified to replace the German international. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? Thank you for showing us the love in here. Thank you. Christmas ended yesterday and all in all, things look really great in here onto the Rokani Football Podcast. Smash the like button, comment and share. And if at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to our channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now today we are into Chelsea. Not usually we do Chelsea news onto this channel, but this time around we're going to bring you news from Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United in there, and very many other stories around the world, especially teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG in there. And today we are having PSG in this story, we are having Sevilla, we are having Chelsea included into this story. Just do one thing, sit down, get your phone or your laptop, keep it to Rokani Football Podcast. And if at all you've not subscribed to our channel, guys, endeavor to subscribe to our channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, lots of things are happening in the camp of Chelsea. Chelsea is into what we call a tragedy. A tragedy because three of its central defenders are running out of contract. One, Christiansen, you know that he's I think a Danish international. There is Thiago Silva, the Brazilian international, and Rudiger, the German international. But as things stand, Christiansen has just changed his agent, and it looks like the new agent that has come into play is going really to sit down with Chelsea and sign a new contract with the team which goes by names of Chelsea in there, because his contract was expiring this summer. That is some other good news that is coming in at Chelsea. Thiago Silva looks like he really wants to stay at Chelsea, and Chelsea are willing to add him one more year at the age of 37 to extend his stay at Chelsea at the age of 38 in there. So those two, there is no question Thomas Tuchel has convinced them and they're really going to sign new contracts at Chelsea and they're going to stay. But there is the most on-form player at Chelsea who goes by names of Antonio Rudiger, whose contract is running out in the summer. You get, and in January he can easily sign a pre-contract with another club. And guess what? No club would like to lose its informed player like a man who goes by names of Antonio Rudiger in there for you. Antonio Rudiger is really a very good player, though I don't rate him as I don't rate his talent highly, but I really rate his hard work on the pitch. He's one of those players that will make you feel like if at all you work hard, you can really come in through and be one of the best defenders in the world. Hard work pains but pays, and indeed it's really working out on Antonio Rudiger. In a 3-4-3 system that Tuchel plays with three central defenders, that allows Antonio Rudiger to thrive all that left line in there. You've seen this man scoring goals for Chelsea and earning penalties for Chelsea, especially into the 18 yards box area of the opponent. You remember the game of Manchester United, he was in a position of really killing off the game in the 9 minutes, but he really hit the ball way up and it didn't go in the back of the net in there. So that is Antonio Rudiger for me. So Thomas Tuchel wouldn't like to lose Antonio Rudiger, but Antonio Rudiger has really put up requests that are really not in the reach of Chelsea. You cannot tell me that Antonio Rudiger wants £200,000. Sorry, he does. I think, does he want £200,000 a week in there? And Chelsea is saying, we cannot give you this money. We cannot give you this money in there, because they are looking at, if at all you pay Antonio Rudiger £200,000 a week, then the likes of Kai Havertz will come in and say, I also want 350. Timo Werner, Lukaku, Mason Mount of this world, and the Christiansen of his world, and all the players, because most of the Chelsea players don't have long contracts. It looks like in the next 1 or 2 years, they are really going to extend these contracts again. Now, if at all you put up a precedent of Antonio Rudiger that you are giving him £200,000 a week, that means these other players will also say we want £200,000 a week or more. This is not something that Abramovich and the entire Chelsea structure is willing to obey. They rather lose Rudiger and get in another defender. And guess who they are looking at? They are looking at Kimpembe and Sevilla, and the Sevilla defender who goes by the names of Jules Koundé. Let's start off with Jules Koundé. Jules Koundé was expected to join Chelsea by the way in the summer, but all never went ahead because Chelsea failed to raise 65 million euros that were needed. Sorry, 65 million pounds that Sevilla wanted. And Chelsea were really raising close to 45 million pounds. And Sevilla said, no way we are giving you such a player if at all you don't pay us 65 million pounds. This deal looked like it was going to really happen, but guess what? It never happened because of Chelsea failing to meet the amount of money that a team which goes by names of Sevilla wanted. Jules Koundé, having played in the Euros, had not yet joined Sevilla, and he was in France on his holiday, and he was waiting for only one thing, that Chelsea has agreed or come to a common understanding with the team which goes by names of Sevilla to see him cross-side from Spain to the Premier League, and that never really came to happening in there. So that deal is already there, and Chelsea knows that if at all they can get 65 million pounds, they can get in Jules Koundé. But Jules Koundé looks like has really fallen down in favor of Kimpembe, because Thomas Tuchel coached Kimpembe at PSG, and he knows his abilities, and he's looking at Kimpembe as the right replacement of Antonio Rudiger, and he feels like he can really convince him to come in and play at Chelsea if at all he assures him that he's giving him first team football. When you look at players that are playing outside the other leagues, trust me, Premier League is the attraction. Premier League is the attraction because it's the #1 league in the world. And when you look at how the things are happening, looks like football is shifting to the Premier League. They are the teams that have won the previous Champions League. Liverpool won in 2020, Chelsea won in 2021, and 2022 looks like it's really going to end up in the hands of the Premier League teams again. The only outside team that I will look at and know that it can really cause a threat to the Premier League teams is Bayern Munich. Real Madrid can't, Barcelona is already out, and very many other teams are already out, and they cannot really come out and compete. PSG cannot. They cannot, and they are playing Real Madrid in the round of 16. You never know. Can they even go past Real Madrid? We wait and see in there. But all in all, every player would want to come in the Premier League and play. So I really feel like Kimpembe feels like he wants to come in the Premier League. He wants to come, and if at all they put up the right offer for him, he is going to come, because Thomas Tuchel was his coach. He knows his strengths and weaknesses, and the moment he really points at him, Justin Tuchel would have made the right decision, because Kimpembe is really a very good defender. But to me, I don't rate him highly according to me. I really look at him as someone who is suspect in the defense. I don't really rate him highly, but it looks like Thomas Tuchel has really come out and done that. El Piqui from France is the one that has told us this story via the Sun Sport in there, and they've come out and confirmed that Kimpembe is being scouted by a team which goes by the names of Chelsea, and they are looking at him as the ideal replacement for a team which goes by the names of Antonio Rudiger. Look at Antonio Rudiger. Rumor has it that Real Madrid is looking at him. Something that I don't really fancy, that Real Madrid is willing even to pay him £400,000 a week in there. Something that I don't really agree because of his age. There is no way Perez, the president of Real Madrid, would go in for Antonio Rudiger to pay him £400,000 a week, however much is coming in for a free. Yet there is another defender like Jules Koundé that he really admires. Young, he's 23, 24 years old. He's more talented, according to me, he's more talented than Rudiger. Age is still on his age. Age is still on his side, that is Jules Koundé. So to me, I really feel like this is a story mastered by the agent of Antonio Rudiger. According to me, I really feel like it's the agent trying to come up and really force things to happen at Chelsea. He looks like wants Chelsea to know that there are very many other teams that are looking at Antonio Rudiger in there, and they'll cough up that money. I don't feel like Real Madrid can go in and pay in that amount to Antonio Rudiger. I don't think they can. And the result, they just come in that Real Madrid don't really look like they're interested in Rudiger. So what does that show you? It shows you that the agent is trying to figure out a new deal for Antonio Rudiger at Chelsea, but he wants Chelsea to get them the amount of money that he feels like is right for his client. And that's the role of any manager that is supposed to do in there. But I think he has done it at the bad time in there, because I think Chelsea can get in another defender, because Chalobah is doing well, Christensen is good, Sa is doing well. Which other player? Thiago Silva is doing well and is willing to stay. And there is no way you can tell me that you can really call up for that money how much you're playing well when your defense is conceding all those goals like those, because they are really conceding in very many goals. And I really feel like Chelsea's problem is not the central defense, but the central defense is lacking the cover that it started with at the beginning of the season. To see to it that they kept very many clean sheets at the beginning of the season. But the departure of N'Golo Kante and Kovacic into the midfield, because remember, Jorginho could either partner N'Golo Kante or Kovacic in that role in there to give or to shield their back in there, but they all got injured at the same time, and Chelsea's defense looked really weak, and they started conceding goals. They conceded one against Manchester United, they conceded one against Watford, they conceded 3 against West Ham, they conceded. There is a draw that they really did recently in there. So it shows you how suspect their defense is, and I don't think that Rudiger has all the chance to really get this money at Chelsea. And when a team really puts up a very good salary structure, it does not really break it on players like Rudiger. No. If at all it was Mason Mount who was saying, please, I want such amount of money to renew my contract at Chelsea, it would have happened. But on Rudiger, I see it as something that is impossible and will not happen, and they let him go out for free in there. This Rudiger situation started like this because he failed out with Frank Lampard, and that was the right time for him to really add 2 more years or 3 years on his contract at Chelsea, but he fell out with Frank Lampard. And Rudiger is one of the players that really led to the sacking of Frank Lampard in there at Chelsea. Then Lampard was sacked, Thomas Tuchel came in, he played Rudiger, and Rudiger really came out and is shining all over. He's one of the best defenders in the Premier League right now as it stands in there. But players are now ready to not sign their contracts or renew their contracts with their teams and then go out and get like a 20 million pound sign-on fee and then get a huge weekly salary from these clubs. You've seen it at Manchester United, and Herrera left. Paul Pogba is going to do the same. Donnarumma did the same and went to PSG and signed a new contract after his contract had run out at AC Milan, and he went in at PSG in there. So to me, I really feel like Rudiger might take the same path. He might be not willing to renew his contract, and he's playing well to really create market for himself, and indeed he has. But I don't think Real Madrid can give him £400,000 a week, but I think they can get him like £200,000 a week and give him a good sign-on fee in there. So I don't know what you guys think about Antonio Rudiger and the 2 ideal replacements that Chelsea have pointed out that are really going to come out and replace Antonio Rudiger at Chelsea. And guess who has identified them? It's Thomas Tuchel. And who is headlining all of these? It's Kimpembe in there, a player of a team which goes by names of PSG in there. And Thomas Tuchel, being his ex-coach at PSG, feels like he can really convince him to come and bring his services at Chelsea, because it looks like Antonio Rudiger is not going to sign a new contract at Chelsea. Your reaction to this story is welcome in the comment section below. I remain Rokani David, aka Arane. To this channel, smash the like button, comment and share. And if at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. This is a transfer update from Chelsea, and many more are coming up onto this channel. I'm out for now. May the Almighty bless you abundantly. We are broadcasting from the African Cover Studios. I'm out for now. See you later.